Hey, what's up, guys? This is Xavier here. I'm gonna talk about my experience working at KFC. Um, just to kind of get it out there. I feel like if you've had certain experiences, especially when it involves, working a job, things like that, that can probably help someone else out. Then you should get it out there, let people know what's up. Anyway, when I worked at KFC, like it was actually my first job, so I was really learning how to work and like what was expected and stuff like that. Not only that, but like at that time, stereotypical moment here, but I like chicken, especially back then. And there's like this never ending debate between Church's Chicken, Popeyes, and KFC. And at that time, Popeyes, like all three of them were even, just because like I didn't eat at those chicken places all that much. My family was, buy groceries and eat at home. That's kind of how we did things. So I think I was like 16. I was still going to high school. And so the first thing that I'm thinking is, okay, cool. I got my first job and just had a chicken place. So, in my mind, I'm trying to eat like all the fucking chicken that, I can get my hands on, because I'm like, oh man, KFC, like they have good chicken. And the KFC that I went to, it probably differs by franchise, but they had cakes and all that stuff. They had these different desserts. So anyway, when I started there, they actually had me watch this like little video, which in my experience, a lot of fast food restaurants don't have you watching the tutorial or orientation videos. Well, this one did. And, they were showing clips about, how you don't act. Like they showed that old Seinfeld clip where I forget which character it was on Seinfeld, but he goes in there. Actually, I think it was Jerry, where Jerry goes in there with Elaine and they're being wishy-washy about the soup or whatever, and the guy says, "No soup for you." So that was part of the little orientation video they showed me while I was at KFC, my first day at KFC. And it was just, I mean, like it was interesting. Again, I had never had a job before this, so I was like, okay, this must be typical. Anyway, so I'm learning the register and all that stuff, and I can't. I remember I would always get so confused on the register because, like, the way it's set up in for anyone that has worked fast food, you know this, how it's kind of like it's kind of color coordinated based off of what meals and specials the restaurant has, and I always forget or confuse the chicken sandwich meal or whatever with the grilled chicken. That was like a big deal like at that time. I don't even know if KFC still does the grilled chicken special for $5 or whatever. They probably don't. But I would always get that confused. So here I am just ringing people up, taking their orders. Meanwhile, I'm ringing up the wrong thing. I'm ringing up. They want the 5-piece or whatever piece grilled chicken meal, and I'm ringing them up. The 5-piece, but it's not grilled chicken. Like it's crispy. And so, the cook or the guy, the people we had to bring the food up from the back when it was done cooking, they're looking all stupid in the face, because the customers are all pissed off, talking about this isn't what I ordered. And they're like, oh well, this is what we saw, and they're just going back and forth, and it's the funniest thing to see someone, is from the hood and used to being in that kind of surroundings, you know, having to deal with people that work in these tall office buildings, all clean cut, and damn well they haven't been nowhere near no hood, let alone live there for any extended period of time. So it's just funny seeing them go back and forth. The customers look all awkward because they're pissed off, but at the same time they don't know what to say to the dude talking to them. And meanwhile the dude's talking to him in slang like, "Hey, bro, this ain't that," you know, saying shit like that. Anyway, so for me, the first thing was getting down the orders, like, or putting down the right order. But even beyond that, I finally got my break, And so I was like, man, I'm finna dig into some of this crispy chicken, you know? I think that was the main reason. That probably was the main reason why I, wanted to work there. Because originally, like, I wanted my first job to be at Sports Authority, which, as you should know, is out of business now. So, but at that time, they weren't. I think this was like in 2008. Um, and so I just remember eating the crispy chicken that they had, and I was like, this ain't that good. I don't know what it was. Like maybe KFC had a different recipe when I was younger, but when I started working there, the crispy chicken, like their chicken just wasn't that good to me for some reason. And I was like, that's odd, I just always remember it tasting better. Anyway, to make up for the chicken, the crispy chicken, because even now I don't really like the chicken all that much. KFC is probably third best to me as far as chicken. My favorite chicken place is Popeyes, then Church's, and KFC last. I think KFC is too corporate. Like their recipes are like real. I don't know. They're real manufactured. There's no. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't taste as good as Popeyes or Church's. But that's just me. You know. But I got a cake because, like I said, like they would sell these bundt chocolate cakes, and man, I ate that whole cake. And what was funny was I got a two-piece crispy chicken meal with mashed potatoes and coleslaw, and then I got a cake, this chocolate bundt cake, and I think I got so much food because the store manager, she she was paying for it. So I was like, oh shit, I'm about to eat everything. So I ate. What's funny is I actually did eat everything except for the chicken. I still had like a thigh and a leg left because, like I said, I wasn't feeling the crispy chicken sandwich. I don't know if they cooked it wrong or what, but it wasn't that good to me. And even now, like I said, the chicken ain't that good to me. But but yeah. So eventually, I kind of got it down. Like I worked there on and off for like 2 years. Like that was kind of like my high school job. It wasn't too stressful, and it wasn't that far from my house. Now I was making minimum wage, so um, in Georgia that's 7.25. Oh, I think that's the federal. It's 7.25. I forget which one, but either way, I was making 7.25. Um, so I was like, oh, and I was part time, so I was only making like $250 every 2 weeks, which is okay, like when you're in high school, but like you learn real quick that outside a couple bags of candy, that's not getting you too much. I mean, everyone I worked with was pretty cool. There was this one foreign woman, like she was from somewhere in Africa. I couldn't understand everything that she was saying. And one time I think I messed up, and she was like, me and you are going to fight. Now, at that time, I had never heard that phrase. So I'm like, is this 30 some odd year old woman with like 4 or 5 kids actually trying to fight me, my guy? So that's what I'm thinking. And, I'm just standing there like, oh, okay. And, I just went back, to what I was doing. And I don't know. The people I worked with was pretty cool. But with fast food restaurants, it varies. You either kind of hate or love who you're working with. There really, is no in between when you're working fast food. I remember the store manager. She had her daughter, or her stepdaughter, one of the two, and her stepdaughter or her daughter was working there. And like at the time, I didn't realize that she was like coming on to me, but she would always ask me, how I felt about kids and how I was like around kids. And there's this one time where I think I was telling her how I was single or something like that, and she was like, oh, don't worry, you know women just like a man that has a job. And I was like, really, a job? Like I work fast food. Like that's not the same thing as like typically what people mean, have a job. Yeah, it's a job, but it's different, okay? It's not the same thing. And she's like, oh no, no, like it's good, it doesn't matter if it's fast food. And like, just stuff like that. And then she'd ask me, okay, well, what was I doing after work and all this stuff. And she just kind of had that vibe about her. I mean, I probably wouldn't have messed with her then. I probably would mess with her now though. Now that I think back on it, you know, but not back then. I was still a virgin, and like I wasn't, I was extremely picky. I'm kind of picky now, but not nearly as picky as I was back then. Um, but yeah, no, overall, like it was pretty legit. And this is what it's 2020 now. It's about 2020 is about to be out. So this is what, like 12 years ago, a little over 12 years and some months. So I don't expect it to be anything like how it was then. And like I said, this was a franchise, KFC franchise down in Georgia. And excuse me, from what I've seen or found out, it's under different ownership now. So anyway, that's a little bit about my work history, or when I worked at KFC. I'll have another video for you guys in a while. My next job, or the next job that I worked at after I left KFC. All right, y'all. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.